Fashionistas Home Edition. I am your host, Fleriser Bello. It is a pleasure to have you join us on this beautiful afternoon. We trust that you and your loved ones are well and staying safe. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Bello's Fashionistas TV and our media partner at Bronxnet TV. In today's Bello's FireSide chat conversation, we welcome certified public accountant, fiduciary financial advisor, and small business consultant at AllGen Financial Advisors. AllGen Financial Advisors is a nationally recognized financial advisory firm providing financial planning, investment management, fiduciary advisory services, and 401k rollovers to all generations. Please join me in welcoming Latina Trailblazer and Colombiana, Karen Vergara. Karen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Gracias, Flercia. Thank you so much. I'm just thrilled to be here with you today. I appreciate the opportunity.
It is a pleasure to have you at Bello's Fashionistas TV. Karen, before we move forward, do you have any relations with Sofia Vergara?
You know, I like to think that she's my cousin, and she just forgot about me. But no, I not that I know of. Who knows? Maybe if I take one of those ancestry, DNA tests, maybe we'll find out that we're actually cousins or something.
I will be very interested in, and please, I'd like to see that.
Me too.
Karen, for those who do not know you, please share more about yourself and what it is that you do.
So I'm a certified public accountant. That's how I started my career. And after a while, I realized that what I really wanted to do was I wanted to help people one-on-one. Back when I was a CPA working as an auditor, I used to work for big public companies. We used to audit their financial statements. And I just felt like I didn't have an impact on people's lives. I would drive home every day and think, I didn't really talk to anyone today. I was just behind a computer crunching numbers, and I didn't really have an impact and didn't get to talk to anyone. So life kind of happened, and as I left my auditor career, I started working as a small business consultant at a nonprofit. And at this nonprofit, I realized the importance that it was a nonprofit that helped Hispanic entrepreneurs. And we used to give, or the organization still does, they give free business consulting to small business entrepreneurs. And that's when I realized my passion for helping people and for really working with people one-on-one and feeling part of their success. So I became a financial advisor at AllGen Financial in order to bridge the gap between individuals' financial picture, both in their business and also at home. Because after all, if people are in business, it's so that they can build wealth, and then that translates into personal wealth, of course. And so that's how my career has evolved over time, and that's what I do right now at AllGen Financial, help individuals reach freedom through sound advice, financial freedom through sound advice.
Now that you have mentioned about the incredible things that you're doing with helping people with the small businesses, tell us a little bit about AllGen and also how you were able to continue to serve small businesses.
So AllGen Financial is a firm, it's a registered investment advisor firm that was founded by two business partners, Paul and Jason, who had this idea to make financial advice accessible to more people. Not just that, but to make it accessible to all generations. And that's why the name AllGen Financial comes from. And the way that they created the company was so that when you go to a financial advisor, many times they ask for a certain amount. So if you don't have a certain amount of money to invest with them, they don't really talk to you. So it's this idea that you go to the doctor and you are sick and you tell the doctor, hey doctor, I want to get better. And the doctor just tells you, when you get better, just come back, right? You don't actually get the help you need when you need it, which is most of the time in those early stages of our lives when we're just perhaps starting our first jobs and saving money for retirement, or at least getting into that kind of thing. And so the idea for Jason and Paul was that they would create this company that would offer advice at all stages of their life. So anywhere from individuals that are young. We have a summer camp every year. It didn't happen this year because of COVID, but every summer we invite teenagers, and we call it our Money Sense Summer Teen Camp, where we teach these teens how to manage money. Kind of all of those things that sometimes people say, I wish I would have learned all of these things in school. How to not be in debt, how to invest, what compound interest is, the power of saving early, all of those things. So we have clients that are very young, and we have clients that are older and that have now reached financial freedom, because we take them through this thing called the path to financial freedom that has 3 different stages. We have a foundation stage that's for folks that may be in debt, or they just have to kind of get organized in terms of their finances. And then we have the formation stage, which is that stage where you're starting to build wealth. And then we have the financial freedom stage, where is that moment in your life where you no longer have to work because you have to for a paycheck to sustain your lifestyle, but because you have saved enough and you've built enough wealth that you can live off of your wealth, and you can choose to do what you want, which might be retirement, or it might be traveling, or pursuing a passion, or working for a nonprofit. So those are the types of clients that we have. We range from very young to folks that are in their 90s.
What sets AllGen apart from other financial companies?
So what sets it apart is a few things. Number one, again, this approach that we help just about anybody that just wants financial guidance, right? If you have the desire to get help, you can come to us, and our prices are pretty accessible for most folks that want to get that kind of guidance. That's number one. The other thing is that we're a very diverse group. We actually recently received an award for being a very diverse financial planning firm. And that just means that we're people just like you, that we're relatable. Many of us have gone through this whole process of perhaps getting out of debt. I know one of our founders, Jason, he went through a period of time that he had to get out of debt. And I did as well, in terms of my husband and I, we had some debt when we got married that he had, and we got out of debt. And just so we realized the power of really taking care of your finances. And that's one of the things that really makes us really relatable. We're not talking wealthy super millionaires, even though we have some of those, because many times, because of throughout the years, they've been working with us and they get to millionaire status. But it's, if you are just at a point where you need and you want financial guidance and help, you can come talk to us, because we are going to be able to help you out.
COVID pandemic has impacted many businesses, from large corporations to small business and minority-owned businesses. Please share with us, from your experience as a small business advisor, what are the common factors that you have seen from the small business owners?
One of the things that I noticed is that things have been going well for a while, and people forget that things may go well, but there's a time where usually something will happen that will shake us up, and we have to be prepared and plan for those scenarios. So a lot of people, and this goes back to both small business owners and also personal individuals and families, were not prepared for the pandemic. So they did not have savings, they had debt, and they just simply didn't plan out a worst case scenario. So what I suggest always to my clients, or generally speaking, is that you have to plan out what's going to happen if you have a business. If income is coming in and you don't know how much income is coming in, and you don't know all the expenses that you have, and you don't know if you are having a net loss or a net income every month, well, it's time to sit down and do that. You need to do some cash flow planning. Again, what's coming in, what's going out. And it's the same process for individuals. You have to see what monies are coming into the household and what monies are going out. Because if you don't have a plan for your dollars, then you're going to find yourself perhaps getting into debt. And one of the things that really is very important to understand is that here in the United States, there's statistic, you can Google it, I don't have the exact numbers, but between 80 and 88% of self-made millionaires, of billionaires are actually self-made. So what that means is that we as individuals have the power to become millionaires. We don't have to inherit wealth. We don't necessarily even have to be business owners. As a matter of fact, there was a survey done. There's a book called Everyday Millionaire by Chris Hogan. And the book says that the majority of millionaires are accountants, teachers, and engineers. And teachers usually don't make a lot of money, right? That's what we know. They don't get paid enough. But because I think there's something to say about these different professions that are able to achieve millionaire status, meaning that they have a net worth of more than $1 million. And it's because they are consistent, they're open to education and advice, and they follow through and they're disciplined. And I think we can all have the power to do those things, right? And especially in our Hispanic community, we're hard workers. So all we have to do is sit down and make a plan for our money so that we don't wait, we don't, when something like the pandemic happens again, hopefully not, but something similar could happen, right? We had the crash of 2008, the market crash of 2008, and something else is going to happen. But when it does happen, we have to just be ready and we have to have it planned. And that means having saved enough and not being in debt.
We will take a quick break. And when we return, Ms. Vergara will discuss how small business owners can take control of their small business and personal finances amid the pandemic. Don't go anywhere.
We built a media network for you.
Bronxnet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on Bronxnet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at bronxnet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. Bronxnet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
Bronxnet.
Welcome back. Karen, please share with us how small businesses can take control of their business finances amid the pandemic.
Well, there's 3 things that I usually tell folks that they need to do. The first thing is calculating your net worth. What that means is that you're going to take all the things that you own. So those are things like the cash that you have in the bank, the car that you currently have. You'll find the value. If you were to sell it today, how much would you get? Same thing for your home. If you were to sell it today, how much would you get? So all the things that you own, that's what it's an accounting term called assets. And then you are going to take all your liabilities or the things that you owe, and you're going to subtract that. So that would mean credit cards, student loans, your car loan, your home mortgage, the balances of those, and that's going to give you your net worth. Now that number might be negative, and it might be because you owe more than what you own. And if that's the case, don't panic. I've seen net worths that are in the 6-digit mark. And if you have a plan, you can actually grow the net worth. So what you want is there's 2 ways to grow your net worth. You either continue accumulating things, assets, or you actually get rid of your liabilities. If you get rid of your liabilities, that's actually a way to grow your wealth. Most people don't know that. They concentrate so much in just building the asset part of their net worth. So that's number 1. And it's the same thing for a business. Businesses and individuals can do this alike. The second part is you want to create the second thing is you're going to create a spending plan. A spending plan is you are going to tell your dollars where to go before the month begins. Most of the time, why people get frustrated with this term budget is because they're looking back at how much they spent, but they didn't plan ahead of how much they were going to spend throughout the month. And so when they go back, they're shocked. But what we want to do is we want to kind of stop that cycle. We want to say, okay, we're going to, before the month even begins, we're going to know, we know usually how much we get. Small businesses, it might be a little bit difficult. I know that for some small business owners, the income fluctuates.
Yes.
But you could try to look at historical numbers and say, oh, usually my month of December is my best month and I average this much. So you would just start with that, and then you would plan out all your expenses, okay? And then what you want to do is basically tell all your dollars where to go. There's no dollar that doesn't have a place. So that means that you know exactly how much is going to groceries, that how much is going to rent, how much is going to paying off your debt, etc. Right? So that's what you want to do. And again, going back to the same concept, this works for small business owners and also for individuals. And the last thing is getting rid of debt. A lot of people say, you know, I send the minimum payment every month to my credit card, but just the balance never goes down. Well, credit cards know the power of compound interest. And compound interest was named by Albert Einstein the eighth wonder of the world, because it's a very powerful concept. And this is how big companies and banks and financial institutions get a lot of their income. If you are not paying enough to cover the interest, what you can call service the debt, that is why you never really see progress. So the best thing that you can do is to let compound interest work for you. But in order for you to do that, you first need to get rid of the debt. So credit cards, car loans, student loans, those are very important things that you need to sit down and create a plan to pay them off. There's this thing called the Snowball Method. You can Google it. You can find there are ways to do this. As a matter of fact, I'm happy to send a snowball calculator to anyone that reaches out to me, because I'm very passionate about people getting out of debt, because that's really the beginning of really building wealth. So those are the three things that I would say both small business owners but individuals alike can do to really work on their finances despite of the pandemic, because then they can start really feeling the burdens coming down, the debt is going down, and then they can also even plan to have emergency reserves in case something like this were to happen again.
How can a small business in general be able to manage their expenses?
I have this idea, and I know a lot of small business owners love what they do. However, even through this pandemic, I've seen a lot of small business owners get into more and more debt, and the business wasn't even doing well before the pandemic. So imagine right now, they might be getting a lot of loans, not necessarily grant, but loans that they have to eventually pay back. I am of the thought that if you're going to be a business owner, you need to really see kind of where is the end, because we understand that through the first few years, maybe 0 to 5, you might be making either breaking even or at a net loss. But if there's a point where you're just really not making enough money, then it might be time to step back and reassess your business altogether, or simply not be in business anymore. Because at the end of the day, the idea of having a business is so that you can build your own wealth. And if this is just time that you continue pouring, and I understand the passion that a lot of individuals have with these businesses, but if you continue pouring so much into this business that it's never really going to make any money, and on the other hand, you're actually getting into more debt, then it might be time to say, this is not working anymore. What can I do? Maybe it's time for me to think about something else.
I know that a lot of companies are pivoting now. They're either working together with other partners or identifying new opportunities, and pivot.
That's right. And the other part of it, Fleriser, is one thing is pivoting, but also understand that as small business owners, you don't know everything, right? It's impossible for you to know everything. You might be really good at what you do in your business, But that's why you hire individuals. That's why you would hire a good accountant. You might even hire a small business consultant. You hire an attorney to help you in all of those areas that you're just not an expert in, because that's not what you do. And so if you have the ability, really look out there. I know that, and here in Florida where I live, there's tons of resources for small business owners. So I'm sure that up north, that's the same as well, where you can find resources or people that can guide you, professionals that can help you with the spending plan, with the budgeting, with getting set up with QuickBooks, right? All of those little things that you just might not know. It's okay to not know, because you are a small business owner that is might be passionate about something in particular, but what you want to do is find those individuals and those professionals that can help you out.
How can a small business create their own network?
Again, going back to this idea of, you don't necessarily have to build all the assets, all the things that you own, but you need to start also getting rid of your liabilities. That's creating wealth. That's what wealth is. It's just having something that when you're retired or you're what we call in financial freedom, you can pull from so that you can live off of that. And so the goal is for you, if you're in business, that you have a business that either you can sell off once you're financially free, or you want to be financially free, and that someone is willing to pay for it. And the only way to do that is that you've created a business where that you don't need to be part of it, meaning that the business runs without you. That's what you want to do. You want to create systems and have procedures and have a way where your business does not need you personally in order for it to run, because you've created the people, you've created the team and the systems that allow you to then tell somebody else, you know what, you can come buy my business. You can actually then see that I don't have to be here and the business is already making money. So there's a value to that, and they're going to be willing to pay for it.
How can a small business be able to, after they get out of debt, be able to plan for retirement?
I love that you said that first. We have to get rid of debt, because that's, again, until you don't get rid of the debt and compound interest is working against you, it really doesn't make sense for you to start investing, because investing means volatility. It means being in the stock market, and there are no guarantees when it comes to the stock market. 1 year might be up, 1 year might be down. So unlike your credit card company that charges you 18% on your credit card, perhaps, no matter what the economy is doing, I mean, they don't care. They don't say, oh, we're in a pandemic, let me bring it down to 10% or 5%, right? You have to pay the interest no matter what. So until we don't get rid of debt, it really doesn't make sense for you to start investing. At that point, you have lots of different options, and it really depends on the way you're structured, the kind of tax entity or that you file with the IRS. It matters if you have employees, if you don't have employees, if it's just your spouse in the business. I mean, there are so many different options at that point, but the best thing that you could do is talk to a fiduciary financial advisor. And I want to make sure that when you go talk to someone, we recommend that you talk to a fiduciary financial advisor. That's an advisor that's going to have the best interest of you. They're going to be going to do the best thing for you. And they're not necessarily going to push financial products like life insurance or annuities, which they may there are times when those are needed, but what you want is a plan. You don't necessarily need sometimes to buy a life insurance or an annuity to really build wealth. Okay, so that's what you want to do, is first get rid of debt, and then go talk to a professional that can help you set you on the right path towards financial freedom. And actually, it can help you because you can actually get a deduction through your business by putting money away for retirement. So not only are you putting money away for retirement, but you're getting a business deduction. So it's a great thing to do if you want to build wealth.
For more information, where can you be contacted?
Yeah, you can email me at Vergara, Vergara, at allgenfinancial.com. And you can also find me on LinkedIn, Karen Vergara, CPA. I'm also on Instagram. So if anybody wants to just add me and DM me, feel free to do so. My handle is @Karen Vergara CPA.
Thank you so much again, Karen, for joining us. Karen Vergara, out of Bogota, Colombia. Obviously, she's in the United States, but thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you soon at Bellas Fashionistas TV.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's always a pleasure, and it's so wonderful. The mission that you have, I am so passionate about helping our Latino population grow, and especially in terms of their wealth, so that we can minimize the generational, the wealth gap between us and the other populations of the US. So thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Bellas Fashionistas TV and our media partner at Bronxnet TV. To watch more of our programming, please visit our websites at bellasfashionistas.com and our media partner at bronxnet.org. Please be safe. Have a great day.